Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sim's YouTube channel, and welcome back to Elm Creek Farms. This is episode number 4. And I do want to just say, before we kind of get into the role play here, is that we are still in the very first game day for this particular map as it opens up, with Farm Sim 22, with the seasons functionality. It brings you into kind of late summer, mid to late summer, August timeframe. And I spent a bit more time in the first game day or in August than I would have normally done. Perhaps there were things that I wanted to do, things that I wanted to experience, like the rock picker and stuff like that. And of course, getting the farm and everything set up the way that we wanted it to be set up. And admittingly, I must say that I spent way too much time producing videos in the first game day. This will be the very last video for August or game day number 1 that you will see here on this channel. And my apologies for that. If we advance into, well, if we go into the menu, and if we were to advance into the next game day, which would be September, we are most likely going to lose the ability to harvest our canola. Um, because I think it's going to advance us to September 1st, and this crop could wither. So um, I just don't want to run that risk. And so we're going to just do this game day here, and then I will fast forward, sleep, whatever is required to get us to the next game day when we come back together for the next video. Okay, well, my dad is harvesting the canola there in our harvester, and so we're going to jump into the tractor here, and we're going to go up and we're going to cart for him. And let's just back up, and we'll go pick up the small tipper that we have here on the farm. And I think, I think I remembered that we filled that tipper with rocks that we had got off the 2 fields that we have worked already. And of course, picking up rocks is something that we normally do kind of after the harvest, kind of in the winter time or very early spring. And so, but because I wanted to show you this functionality, we went ahead and did that. We did that now. But what I'm going to do is, Dad said, just pile these rocks up in front of his old barn. He's not using that anymore, and we can just dump up there, and then we'll most likely move them again. I know we've handled these rocks a couple of different times, but this is what we need to do because we don't have enough to justify running out to the rock crusher and taking these out there. So we'll just dump these up here and call it good for now. He doesn't use this farm. All the equipment and everything that we have that I own is all stored down at our main farmyard, and this area here just doesn't function for anything within our work operation. So we'll just Control I, and we'll just dump this here. Don't you just love those sounds? Love those sounds. Okay, he is almost done with this field. Now, he said all he was going to do today was harvest this canola, and then he was going to basically head back to the house. I've asked him to do a few things today, and I think we've pretty much broke him as far as the day is concerned, and we will just let him go ahead and complete this field. And once he is done and parks the combine, then I will return back to you, and we will empty that. We'll carry that down to the main silo, and then we'll go ahead and reposition the harvester over to I believe the next field that we have available that we need to get done today will be oats. I'll see you in just a few minutes. All right, well, he did just exactly what he said he was going to do, and he stopped at the edge of the field here. Once he was done, shut the combine off, and he went up the hill up there to the big house, and I'm guessing he is done for the day. So we will go ahead and empty the canola into our tipper. And actually, I love the new functionality behind how the combines work, in relation to the fact that now you need to basically be squared up with the trailer, but you also have to turn the combine on to actually move the pipe and or unload. With previous versions of the game, you could just drive up there, and even if the combine was off, it would go ahead and unload for you. So we're going to drive around. We're going to finish up this. I believe it's oats that we're going to be harvesting, and then we'll come back once if we fill this up. If we have enough to fill this up and go back, then we'll go get the tipper and the tractor. But we'll head up here to our oats field. And again, as I had said in the previous episode, talked a little bit about the fact that we're not expecting a great deal of yield off these fields. These fields, especially with the canola, let's just make sure that this is what we want to do. I believe it is, and it is oats and it's ready to harvest. But with the canola and the oats already being ready to harvest, when we loaded this map up, it was essentially fully grown, ready to harvest, and had weeds and had not been fertilized. So there's not a whole lot that we can do about that. Let's make sure we are leaving a straw swath, because we want the straw if it gives it to us, and I believe it does. If I remember correctly from Farm Sim 19, oats did give us straw, so we have some straw finally to be able to collect and move down to our new dairy barn. Hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful day in the real world. I am recording this episode on Saturday. The Saturday, I don't know what the date is, the Saturday after Black Friday, after Thanksgiving here in the U.S. It's Saturday morning. I think you guys will probably see this on Monday. And had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Had a wonderful Black Friday, basically sitting in my recliner, not doing a whole lot of anything. I did have one errand that I needed to run yesterday, and I completed that and got back home in about 30 minutes. And my wife and I had lunch, which consisted of, you guessed it, leftover turkey, and dressing and everything like that. And then we had dinner. We had kind of the same thing. That's just kind of the way that it goes around Thanksgiving and Christmas, with the really big meals that we all love to enjoy. And I will just get squared up here, and we'll give us a headland so that we don't have to worry so much about destroying crops, which we are trying hard not to do. And we will head up this direction here. Give you some in-cab action. Hopefully I can steer straight enough that we don't mess this up. But as I've said before, the textures in Farming Simulator 22 are just amazing. How everything has changed between 19 and 22, with the way that the oats are going through the header. Just amazing. Just amazing. Up and see, we weren't able to steer in a straight line from in-cab, but we'll come back and clean that up later. I know many of my viewers have Farm Sim 22, and you guys have been enjoying the new version of the popular franchise already. Love to know what your thoughts are. And of course, we're still very early days. There's not a whole lot of mods available. Now, Rubberburner89, which is one of our featured mod authors for simplysafemods.com, released a Meridian Silo, a multi-fill Meridian Silo, which I recorded a 5-minute mod review on. and it is exclusively available. The mod is exclusively available on simplysafemods.com. And it's the second mod that we've had for Farming Simulator 22. The first mod that came available that we have on simplysafemods.com is also by Rubberburner89. And what he did was he basically was able to use Giants Editor and packaged up Elm Creek Farm, this particular map here, so that if you want to take it and load it into GE9, if you know how to do that sort of thing, and make some map edits, remove stuff if you want to, remove some of these buildings that we can't seem to remove, then you can certainly do that. SimplySafeMods.com is available for you to download mods for Farming Simulator 17 and 19, and of course 22, and more mods will come available for 22 in the coming days, weeks, months, as we progress through all the enjoyment that is the new Farming Simulator 22. Now, the cool thing about SimplySafeMods.com, and I might have said this before, is that we work directly with the mod author to upload the mods to the site. I don't go out and scrape other sites looking for mods just to place them onto the website. Our mod authors that work directly with me, such as Bullet Bill, CCS 101, and many others, including Rubberburner 89, contact me and provide me all the relative information that we need, some photographs, the mod file itself, a description, and then I upload it to the website and then post the information on our Discord server. And I will occasionally do mod reviews on the particular mods that we do feature on simplysafemods.com. But the website is super fast. There is no registration that you need to go through. I will just say this, that yes, there are ads on simplysafemods.com, but that is simply to pay for the hosting and the domain registration, all that kind of stuff, which costs money, and it costs me money. And now that I'm retired, I have to basically allow that to pay for itself, and it just about does that. So, all right, well, we're going to get this field harvested and get the oats and everything put away in the silo. We will check our prices, contact a few farmers that have horses around the neighborhood and see if any of them need oats, and if not, then we will contact a few of our buyers and see who is offering the best price at this particular point in time, or maybe we will just continue to silo it if prices are lower, and if they might go back up in the coming months. And we can certainly do that. We have the capacity in our silos to do that. And as I've said before, Dad and I will take a look at what we need to do in future planting cycles, and see what makes sense for us to plant. Obviously, we need crops like wheat, barley, maybe oats like this, to be able to produce straw for our dairy needs, total mixed rations, etc. And also, we like to sell straw to our neighboring farmers if they need it. And a lot of farmers don't have the capacity, don't want to have the capacity to be able to harvest straw. They don't want to have to own balers or forage wagons and such like that. And so they will buy from us. Either sometimes they'll buy baled, or they'll buy bulk straw from us, and we make a little bit of money off of it, and it helps them, and everybody just comes away in a win-win situation. We had one of our viewers tell us that he had done some testing on Elm Creek and Farming Simulator 22. I had made a comment in one of the previous videos, I think maybe in episode number 2, about the new big large dairy barn that we have, the one that has the automated feeder, and about the fact that it will not accept bales. And he did some testing and determined that if you use the mixing wagon that's available to make TMR in, that we would usually make TMR in, you can load bales in that, which will obviously cut those bales down, and then you could actually empty either silage, straw, or hay into those loading bays for the automated robot process to take those contents and produce total mixed rations. So we may shift gears here on our farm and do some baling. May bale straw, we may bale hay, but we also will be looking at potentially picking up the bale wrapper that we can produce silage on the field. We can store those silage bales out in the open if need be. We don't have to have infrastructure to be able to house those, and we can use those, especially if we have any problems with our silo bunker, which seems to be. And again, I've said this before. It's early days. We are expecting a Giants update sometime before Christmas, I believe, is what has been reported out there on the interwebs in various places. And but there have been some folks that have reported issues with the silage bunkers. Now, I did not have any issue filling it. I've not had any issue compacting it. And but some folks are saying that you can't get the silage out once it has turned into, or can't get the silage out once it's turned into silage and you remove the blanket. So again, early days, we have not removed the blanket here on the farm. It's not ready yet, and it'll be ready when it gets ready. And normally, my dad has complained just a little bit because he likes to voice his opinion about the weeds and the lack of fertilization, but there wasn't a whole lot that we could do about that, just coming in and taking over as we are. But we do strive to always make sure that our fields are 100% fertilized, 100% weed free, so that we get maximum yields on our crops, because we do this to make money. And if you're spending the time to harvest, because it takes just as much time to harvest a field that is fully fertilized and completely weed free as it does one that is, partially fertilized and riddled with weeds, as we have in our situation here. And so definitely we want to do a much better job with this as we go forward. And again, we will be looking at what we need to plant, how we need to plant it. Now, I mentioned in the previous episode that we also manage the bakery, run the bakery, and we sell our wheat flour to the bakery, or carry it to the bakery to make bread. And we have a field that is somewhat adjacent the um, to the mill that produces the flour. So most likely that is going to become our main wheat field, so that we can cart directly from the field to the mill. And that way we save time, we save steps. We only touch the wheat one time after we get it off the field and take it and deliver it directly to the mill. Of course, we won't see that until we come back around to the next season, or the next planting season, which will be spring for us, as we progress further through the map. And we will hire some temporary workers if we need to help us in the winter, late fall and winter months, and maybe early spring, as we need to prep our fields, remove stones, plow, lime, fertilize, get everything ready to go. If we need to do that through some additional helpers, there's a lot of folks here in the area of Elm Creek that will do contract work, that will come out just for a day or 2 days and help us out, and we pay those guys handsomely and for their services, and we have good relationships with them. And hopefully, as we advance through the next game day, into the next season, into the next month, we'll learn a little bit more about how productive our greenhouses have become. And been speaking with my dad. Of course, I told you that my granddad didn't do a whole lot with greenhouses. I believe that he built one for my grandmother, for her to kind of do some things with, but didn't really use that to sell to the general public. My dad did have a greenhouse, kind of the same concept, same purposes, but mostly he took his crops directly to farmers market or to the various grain buyers, product buyers, and sold those. But I spoke to him and told him that there's high demand for these products that can be grown in greenhouses, tomatoes, lettuce, strawberries, even. And they can be sold around the community or even trucked out to other locations. And so we may look at taking a little bit of our capital, some of the $735,000 that we have here in the bank, and purchasing a small piece of land, maybe in town actually, and basically constructing some greenhouses there and having basically hiring the guy that we have that comes out to look after our greenhouses here on the farm, have him take take a look at those and manage those for us, so that everything is kind of done by one person. And we're going to go ahead and empty this guy, and we'll just park over here out of the way. We will empty him in due time. We'll go ahead and shut the engine off. And then we're going to slam our head into the header there as we go forward and run over here and grab our tractor and tipper. Need to go and empty that into the silo. This is really our first harvest, this canola, here in Farm Sim 22. And then we'll come back and empty the oats out of the combine, and let you all get on your way to your own greener pastures. Very much appreciate everyone watching my channel, and of course to all of those who have left comments. I'm seeing already that a lot of folks have, oops, we left our tractor running. That's not good, but that's okay. I've seen a lot of comments from folks that are just new to the Farm Sim franchise, who have just getting started and finding benefit to my videos. Thanks for letting me know that. I do things a little different. I have a little bit different style. I do try very, very hard to stay in the role play, but I also like to explain things because I have a multitude of people that watch the videos. I've got some old seasoned folks that have basically gone through every version of Farming Simulator that has ever been produced by giants, all the way up to people that have just come to the game because of the new release of Farming Simulator 22. And so I kind of have a mixture of a little bit of role play, try to come up with a storyline and try to stick with that and progress that through the videos. But if I think of something that I want to share with you, helpful tips or whatever, I will often kind of jump out of character and talk a little bit about that and explain it or show it or whatever during the course of the videos. It's just how I do things, and I know that folks have left comments on my videos in the past and here recently about they wish that I do more farming and less talking about my own agenda, I think is the exact quote. And so anyway, lots of YouTube channels out there feature FarmSim 22, and if my content isn't your thing, then that's okay. You can go and check out some of the other content that's out there. But for those of you who do enjoy the content and do find the information helpful that I provide on occasion, then I very much appreciate you subscribing, liking the videos, and all of that good stuff. So we will come over here and try to get better lined up this time. I think that might work. Shut the engine off because we're going to basically wrap this video up as we dump our oats into the tipper. Thank you all so much for watching. I very much appreciate it. I will return for another video here on, nope, I did not. I did not get it lined up better that time, but here we go. For another video here on Elm Creek Farms, where myself and my father and a few hired hands will run this operation and hopefully begin producing some milk in the coming months of gameplay as well. And I do appreciate you watching. take good care of yourself and all those around you, and come back for another video very, very soon. God bless you all. Bye-bye.